Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
So refreshing when you hear new tunes. It's so refreshing when you hear new tunes. Even you sang a new one, huh, today?
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to today's Bhagavad Gita class. We'll start by singing the prayers of Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. So today we're going to be reading from chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. It's called Transcendental Knowledge. So this chapter is all about how this knowledge was received. First, in the beginning of the chapter, Krishna talks about how he first instructed this knowledge to the sun god, Vivaswan, and then this knowledge is coming down in disciplic succession. From a spiritual master to disciple, each spiritual master passes the same knowledge on to his disciple, and then the disciple, he becomes a spiritual master and passes it on to his disciple. So in this way, the pure knowledge is being passed down without being changed, all the way up to the present day. Above Srila Prabhupada here, we can see there are 4 pictures. So these are the last 4 spiritual masters from our disciplic succession. This is starting from the right is Bhaktivedanta Thakur, then Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji, then we have Bhaktisiddhanta, and then we have Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is sitting here. And Srila Prabhupada also has many disciples, and his disciples are still passing down that same knowledge to this very day. So this same knowledge that was spoken to Lord Krishna, spoken by Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, first to Lord Brahma, and again to to Arjuna, is available to us now today because of the disciplic succession. And now today we're reading from verse 41. It's towards the end of the chapter. So in this verse, the benefit of receiving this transcendental knowledge is being described. So we can recite the verse once. I'll just make it visible here on the screen. Okay, so you can all see the verse there. I'll recite one line, and then you can all repeat after me. Yoga sanyasta karmanang jnana sanchanna sanshayam atmavantang na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchanna sangshayan atmavantang na karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchanna sangshayan atmavantang na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya. Somebody like to recite? Okay, we'll go for word then. Yoga, by devotional service in karma yoga. Sannyasta, one who has renounced. Karmanam, the fruits of actions. Jnana, by knowledge. Sanchana, cut. Samshayam, doubts. Atmavantam, situated in the self. Na, never. Karmani, works. Nibadhanti, do bind. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of riches. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. Purport. One who follows the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, imparted by the Lord, the personality of Godhead himself, becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord, in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self-knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage to action. So before speaking on this verse, I'd like to offer some prayers to our spiritual teachers, from whom we have received this transcendental knowledge. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivari Paschati Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So I'll read the verse once again. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. And so in this verse, Krishna is speaking about the benefit of transcendental knowledge. By taking to transcendental knowledge, then one understands who one is. The first thing that transcendental knowledge teaches us is our identity, that we're the soul. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna first starts speaking to Arjuna, and chapter 2, then Krishna says, the first teaching that Krishna gives is, he tells Arjuna that you're the soul, you're not this body. And that because we're a soul, then we also have spiritual duties, because we're a spirit soul. And then, so based on, once we understand who we are, then we can understand that we have duties, spiritual duties in life. So what are those spiritual duties? Some of you can say? Chanting, yeah. Any other? Hearing. Yes, studying the scriptures, chanting. These are all constitute our spiritual duties. Also, coming to the temple, worshipping the Lord, Even in our home, we can offer our food to the Lord. These are all our spiritual duties. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna nicely explains that because we we have a body, but we are the soul. So we have two duties. One set of duties is in relation to our body, and another set of duties is in relation to our soul. And so we should balance both of these in our life. And by doing this, then we can become an Atmarama. We can become completely happy. Because if we only do the duties for our body, like we do our work, we get our money, we pay our bills, we buy our food and maintain our house. But if we don't do anything for our soul, then we can't be happy because our real identity is the soul. And so the soul also needs spiritual nourishment. We have to nourish the soul. And how is the soul nourished? Like you said, through chanting, through hearing, because these processes are actually connecting us to the Supreme Lord. But our chanting is like a way of speaking to the Lord, a way of connecting to the Lord. And by connecting to the Lord, then we can establish our loving relationship with Him. Everybody wants love in this world, wants to have nice, loving relationships. But most people are frustrated in this world because even if we find the right person that we like and we can have a nice relationship, for them it doesn't last very long. And even if it lasts many years, up to the end of life, at the end of life, it'll have to be, have to be stopped because we have to change our body. And then when we change our body, then all the relationships on the basis of the bodily concept of life are stopped. So if we really want to have eternal happiness, then we should seek spiritual happiness. And it makes sense because if we are eternal, if we're spiritual, then only eternal spiritual happiness can satisfy us. So the real place to look for happiness is in spiritual life. And spiritual life means where Krishna is the center. God is the Supreme Spirit, the Paramatma, Supreme Soul. And we are all His parts and parcels. And so by connecting to Him, then we actually feel that transcendental happiness. So this is the process of devotional service. And knowledge about devotional service is described as transcendental knowledge. So this is what this chapter is about. So here, in this verse, it's saying, one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus he is not bound by the reactions of work. Yeah, so what happens is if we don't have knowledge of how to act in this world, if we just act for our own sense enjoyment, then we become bound up by the reactions to our work. Because every activity, it has a reaction if we perform it for ourselves. This, in chapter 4, nicely explains different types of work. How we can work, Krishna explains how there is karma, there is akarma, and there is vikarma. So karma means we act for ourselves, and then we get a reaction for that. And then we have to, if the work we do is pious, then we can enjoy in this world a little bit, and then, but if it's impious, then we have to suffer. So this is called karma. And then the next type of activity is called vikarma. Vikarma means sinful activities. So activities that are not recommended in the scriptures, and those always produce a bad result. That's vikarma. And then akarma. Akarma means working for Krishna. Working for Krishna means whatever we do, we dedicate the results to Krishna. And that produces no result. No result in the material world. It produces a spiritual result. Rewards us with a spiritual happiness. So if we want to become free from the material world, then we have to stop this cycle of action and reaction, because this cycle binds us to this material world. And as long as we're in this material world, then we have to suffer, birth, death, old age, and disease, and all the different miseries that come with being in this world. So one who is a thoughtful person will think about, consider the situation here in the material world, that I have to work so hard just for, to maintain myself, and the happiness that I can actually get, material happiness is so little and it's very temporary. And so, a thoughtful person will ask about, is there a better way to live? Is there a greater happiness that I can get? And then that's when such a person takes to transcendental knowledge. And this transcendental knowledge, as revealed in the Bhagavad Gita, teaches us that yes, there is an alternative way to live your life, and that is to dedicate our activities for the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. And such activities, by performing such activities, then we become free. Here it says, by acting in devotional service, we're not bound by the reactions of work. And so then at the end of our life, we can go back to Godhead. So actually the human form of life is meant for this purpose. There are many species of life. And we as the soul, we're going into different species of life according to our desires. So sometimes we're born, as in the animal species. Sometimes we're born among plants. Sometimes as fish. And in these, there are so many different species that actually the practice of spiritual life is not even possible, because we don't have enough intelligence to understand. The animals, they can't understand that, about spiritual life, that there is a God and I should perform devotional service. They can't understand. So actually this human form of life is our chance to free ourselves from this cycle of repeated birth and death. So the scriptures, they request us to take this life seriously, because it's a great opportunity to free ourselves from this miserable cycle of repeated birth and death. And so, we should take advantage of the wonderful teachings that are offered here by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. You're all very fortunate because you're coming to the temple, so you already know about a little bit about the process of devotional service. You know about the devotees, about the Lord. So I encourage you to continue to take it up with all seriousness, and make it the purpose of your life. That this life, I want to end this process of repeated birth and death in this material world, and I want to go back home to my original home, which is the spiritual world. And that place is eternal, and there I get an eternal body, which never has to suffer the effects of birth, death, old age, and disease. And there I can serve Krishna eternally in happiness, eternal loving relationship. So actually this life is meant to reestablish that relationship with Krishna. And this is done primarily by hearing about the Lord. Because in order to love somebody, you need to know something about them. You can't love somebody who you know nothing about. So this process starts with primarily about hearing about Krishna. And this is Krishna describes himself in the Bhagavad Gita in several places. And the more advanced study after finishing Bhagavad Gita is Srimad Bhagavatam. There Krishna's character, his qualities, his loving dealings with the devotees, his pastimes, they're all described very elaborately. And so by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, then we can understand what a wonderful person Krishna is, what wonderful qualities he has, how kind he is to his devotees, how much he takes care of his devotees. And then we'll become attracted to him. And once we're attracted to Krishna, then we can actually dedicate ourselves to his loving service. And it is when we perform the service with love for Krishna, then we really get satisfaction from that service. Because without love, just performing something mechanically, it won't bring us as much happiness. So we should try to learn about Krishna, and then that's why Srila Prabhupada stressed so much about reading the books, because reading this transcendental knowledge about the Supreme Lord, it increases our love and attraction to Krishna, and this love for Krishna is actually the source of the greatest happiness that we all want. And in this way, by always hearing about Krishna, by dedicating our lives to Krishna, then at the end of life, we will naturally will remember Krishna, and then we'll go back to him at the end of the life. So this is the process of devotional service. And in the beginning of this chapter, it's explained how this knowledge is received through disciplic succession. And just in a few verses before, verse 34, Krishna explains the process for receiving this knowledge the right way. Because Krishna explains that actually, just by reading the knowledge from the book, it's not enough to fully understand this knowledge. This knowledge is best understood when we approach a realized person, a devotee of the Lord, who knows this knowledge. So in text 34, Krishna says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So here Krishna is explaining the method for inquiring for transcendental knowledge. First we should submissively inquire from a devotee who has realized this knowledge, from somebody who has, he has understood the knowledge by reading it himself, and not only that, but he's also applying it in his life. So that means, whatever is written in the scriptures, you can see that that devotee is practicing it in his life. So this brings a faith that this knowledge, it can actually be applied in our life, and from them we can learn how to also apply in our own life this knowledge. And then Krishna, he says here that we should try to inquire submissively. That means if our heart is too, I'll take questions at the end if that's okay, yeah? If our heart is full of pride, then we can't be open to receive transcendental knowledge. So if we want to receive this knowledge, then we should approach the devotees with the humility and ask them to instruct us how we can best understand this knowledge and apply it in our life. And also we should render some service unto the devotees, because if we render service to the devotees, then the devotees, they become pleased with us, and then they will really want to help us and try their best to help to make sure that we understand this philosophy properly, we are applying it properly in our lives. Yeah, and so this is the way that Krishna prescribes to understand this transcendental knowledge. So then, what is the benefit of receiving this transcendental knowledge? In the end of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, he quotes from the Gita Mahatmya. Have any of you heard of the Gita Mahatmya? It's a book written by Lord Shiva himself when he appeared as a Shankaracharya. It's verses glorifying the Bhagavad Gita. So I thought, since we're reading about the glories of transcendental knowledge today, it would be nice to read about the glories of transcendental knowledge here as described by Lord Shiva. So he says, Gita Shastram idam punyam ya patet prayata puman Vishnupada Pasupanam Bhayashokadi Varjita. That whoever reads the Gita Shastram idam punyam ya patet prayata puman. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Bhayashokadi Varjitam, and one will be freed from all the fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. And then there's also a further advantage. Gita dhyayana shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva shanti papani purva janma kritani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. So that was just what we were reading today. Because, when we understand this transcendental knowledge, that we're the soul, and that we have a relationship with the Supreme, and that our duty is to act in his service, then when we act in this way, then there is no reactions to our work, because we dedicate all the activities for Krishna's pleasure, and we don't engage in sinful activities. So this is how transcendental knowledge, it saves us from sinful reactions. And then, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that whoever surrenders unto me, I will deliver them also from all sinful reactions. And further, Lord Shiva says, Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gita amrita snanam samsara malanashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred water of the Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. And so this is very nice. Every day we cleanse ourselves by taking a bath, but we should also cleanse our soul, refresh our soul. Like after taking a bath, we feel refreshed, feel clean. So also we should refresh our soul with the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita by daily reading it, and then we'll feel rejuvenated. Gita su Gita kartavya kim manye shastra vistare yasvayang padmanabhasya mukha padmad vinishrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. So this is very nice. There are many Vedic literatures. So somebody may think like, there are so many books, how shall I start? There are so many different Puranas and this and that. I don't have so much time to read. But here it said that if we just read the Bhagavad Gita, then it's sufficient, because these are the words of the Lord for us. So in this book, this book is considered the essence of all the Vedic literature. So if we just read this one Bhagavad Gita, then our life will become perfect. We'll receive everything we need to know. And we'll receive the direct knowledge directly from the Lord himself. And And so Shiva further says, Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnu bhaktrad vinishritam Gita gangodakang pitva punarjanmana vidyate. One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. And then it gives Lord Shiva gives an analogy here in this next verse. Sarvapanishado gavo dugdha gopalanandana partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdhang gitamritang mahat. This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all Upanishads. It is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is famous as the cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of the Bhagavad Gita. So just like milk is the best kind of food, so the knowledge, the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita is the best kind of food for our soul. It gives our soul the greatest nourishment and spiritual strength. And finally it says, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karamapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. That Eka Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. That if there is only one book that should be read, it's the Bhagavad Gita spoken by the son of Devaki, Lord Krishna. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. And there's one Lord, that's the son of Devaki, Lord Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani. There should be one mantra, just the chanting of his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Karamapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. one kind of work, that is a service to him. So this is how this glorification of the Bhagavad Gita ends. So we should all take advantage of the wonderful instructions of Bhagavad Gita. And this edition of Bhagavad Gita is very special because it is written by a devotee of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada, he has translated it as it is. That's why this Bhagavad Gita is known as Bhagavad Gita as it is, because Srila Prabhupada, he presents the teachings of Krishna as he speaks them. Because many different people, they present the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in a different way. They change the meaning to suit their own purposes. In the introduction also, Srila Prabhupada says that Bhagavad Gita should be understood as Krishna has spoken it himself, as Krishna intended it to be understood. Just like when we take a medicine, we shouldn't take the medicine on the advice of a friend, or according to how we think the medicine should be taken. We should take the medicine according to the advice of the physician. So similarly, the words of Bhagavad Gita, in order to be effective, they should be understood from as Krishna spoke them exactly, not according to somebody else's wrong interpretation. And from the devotees of the Lord, who are like the physicians, they understand the words of Krishna and they explain them exactly as Krishna wants us to understand them. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita is special, because it's spoken, it's presented as it is, and then the purports, explanations, Srila Prabhupada gives is explaining the true meaning of what Krishna is speaking according to knowledge he has received also from the disciplic succession. So this is all authorized and bona fide. And so I hope that you will all be inspired to read the Bhagavad Gita every day. Do you all have the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. Did you know that if you just read 2 pages of Bhagavad Gita every day, you'll finish the whole Bhagavad Gita in 1 year? So that's doable, right? Who can read 2 pages of Bhagavad Gita every day? Yeah? Wonderful. It only takes like 10 minutes to read. You can all do 10 minutes a day, right? And then we receive the benefit. So much benefit that we just read. We become free from the cycle of birth and death. We awaken our love and attachment for Krishna. And we bathe our soul. We feel refreshed. So now I'd like to open up for questions. We have 15 minutes before the Aarti. If anybody has any questions, you can please feel free to ask. Or if you want to share anything, please feel free to share. Yeah? Yeah. Sorry? Oh, today's festival. Sure, yeah, I can say something. So today we're celebrating the festival of Dussehra, the burning of Ravana. So in the field they have a big statue of Ravana where they're burning. So Ravana, he was a demon that he stole away Lord Ram's wife. So Lord Ram, who we see here on the altar, we have Ram in the middle, and then on Ram's right is Lakshman, and on his left is Sita. So Sita is his wife, and Ravana he kidnapped Sita. So Ram, in order to take back his wife, he tried first he tried different ways, to request Ravana by sending his messengers to please give back his wife. But Ravana, he wouldn't. So then there was no alternative but for war. So then there was a big war, and finally, Ram, he killed Ravana, and today we're celebrating the victory of Lord Ram over Ravana. So he killed Ravana and he took back his wife Sita. Sorry? How did he kill him? Well, so what happened was Ram got banished from his kingdom, so he didn't have his army with him. So he actually made friendship with some monkeys and bears in the forest, and then that was his army. So then, along with he made a bridge to Lanka. He had to cross over to Lanka because Ravana was living in an island, and then with all these monkeys and bears, then he fought the soldiers of Ravana. And so they were fighting with bows and arrows and, swords and shields. But they also had mantras that they would use. So these mantras, they would make these arrows very powerful, like almost as powerful as like nuclear weapons today. So they were very powerful, and they could create fire and rain and water and all of these things. So in this way, they were fighting. And it said that Ravana had a special benediction from Lord Shiva, that even if somebody cut off his head, he wouldn't die. And Ravana had 10 heads. So at first, he was trying to cut off his heads, but his heads would just pop back up. And but then Vibhishana, he told Ram that Vibhishana is Ravana's brother. So Vibhishana, he was a devotee of Lord Ram, and he always tried to convince his brother Ravana that, you should give back Ram's wife to Ram. But Ravana didn't listen to him, and he got angry that he was, always trying to side with Lord Ram. So then he sent Vibhishana away, and then Vibhishana went to take shelter of Lord Ram. So Vibhishana, he knew all about Ravana because he was his brother. So then he told him that, actually the only way to kill Ravana is if you deplete the pot of nectar that's in his navel. It's okay if you close the door. Somebody can close the door, then it'll be quieter. Yeah. Okay, so Vibhishana, he knew all about Ravana. So then he told Ram that you have to shoot the arrow in his navel, and then the pot of nectar that's there, it will be finished, and that's how Ravana will die. So then that's how Ravana got killed in the end. Ram shot an arrow in his navel, and then Ravana was killed. So that's how Ravana was killed. Yeah. Okay. Ravana also, we also celebrate this festival today, and to pray to Lord Ram that to also kill within our hearts the demon, because in our hearts it said that we also have different bad qualities. Like Ravana represents lust and envy. So when on this day we pray to Lord Ram to also kill the lust and envy in our heart that Ravana represents. And so on this day we can pray to Lord Ram to remove those qualities from our heart. Does anybody have any other questions? So maybe we can stop here. Then we're going to have Gaur Arti in a few minutes. You can all please attend the Arti. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna.
Someone give me a hand. Yeah, is that okay? Hare Krishna. Anybody sing? will come here.
श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, श्री श्री दशहरा महामहोत्सव की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, शिला प्रभुपाद की. We'll do some nice bhajan. Please join us along to sing. We'll recite prayers to Srila Prabhupada and then we should have more prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Instrument. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadhi Pashatya Desatarine. Namaste Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.